Hello, everybody. My name is Molly. I'm a librarian at Victory Branch Library, and I'm so excited to be with you for another Self Care Sunday. So, today, this program is different. It's definitely a leap of faith for me. And it's something that I've avoided for a long time doing for this virtual program because I always told myself, you're not good at arts and crafts, you're not creative. So, this episode of Self Care Sunday is actually going to be addressing that. What does it mean to be creative? How do you spark creativity when maybe you've told yourself, that's not your thing? And then we're actually going to have some creative time, some watercoloring, a watercoloring jam session, if you will. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And when I started this program, I was always like, yeah, I'll do arts and crafts, no big deal. And it was always something that when I would start to prep the program, I would get really intimidated. I don't know about you, but I feel like there's this notion that if you haven't been doing artistic or creative things for a long time, maybe you've lost sort of your habit of doing that, then you sort of tell yourself, okay, well, maybe that's just not my thing. Maybe I'm not a creative person. And I've been doing a little research lately on what it means to be creative, who gets to be creative, and how to maybe get those juices flowing again. Now, a few years ago, Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, actually wrote a book called Big Magic, all on the idea of how creativity is almost like a muscle, that it's something that if we exercise and kind of keep tabs on, get stronger and stronger. So this kind of idea has been in the back of my mind for a few months now. Well, ever since this new normal has come into place. I think we've all kind of tried to find ways to take care of ourselves. That's the whole theme of this program is self-care. And I've really been pondering, meditating on where does creativity fall into self-care. So I would love to hear from you guys at home. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, or you can also send me an email. I love hearing from you. It's always so exciting. So my email is at the bottom of the screen, mnoda@adalib.org. So shoot me an email. What keeps your creative juices going? What are some creative exploits that you undertake to really engage in self-care? What helps you decompress? What helps you let go? I also found this amazing blog just because, again, I'm a librarian, so I know a little about a lot. I came across this blog from this woman named Katja Hunter, who seems to be in marketing, who is a creative person, and she has this article, which I will link below, called A Beginner's Guide to Creativity. So step one, be curious. I really like this. I think we all take that idea for granted. Basically, I think questioning why we have the certain habits that we do. Do a little bit of digging, do a little bit of soul searching, and then her number 2 step is focus on learning, which I think is really great. I think in this new normal, there was a time where it seemed like everyone really wanted to be really, really productive. Creativity is a goal, but it can kind of start to feel like it's a chore. I think goal setting is important, but I think learning, and Katja Hunter says this in her blog, learning as you go and sort of observing what you're learning is also really important, and it makes it more of a journey rather than like, this is what I have to get to. And so that leads to her 3rd step, which is called no perfectionism. So she's like, perfectionists, need not apply. I thought, again, today we could watercolor. Now, I don't have the most sophisticated of setups, so please bear with me. And I'll just kind of have some fun with you. If you're at home and you'd like to follow along, feel free to grab your watercolor pad out, get it out. If you have a watercolor set, go ahead and grab that. I feel like it's kind of fun to watch somebody create and learn. So that's kind of going to be the point of this next little bit. So let's do it. Oh my goodness, here we go. So again, I'm using Watercolor with Me by Dana Fox, and the theme is In the Ocean. I love this book. It's actually circulating at our Victory Branch library. You can go ahead and look it up in the catalog, and you can place a hold on it. The one thing I will note is that this is super cool. They have the actual sketches in the book, but obviously our copy is a library book, so you'll have to get some paper and sketch, put your watercolor paper on top of this. Obviously watercolor paper is very durable, so it's made to kind of withstand water and watercolor paint. So I would recommend doing that. And yeah, it's super easy to trace over these. And the great thing about this book, if you do happen to have it at home, which I'm not saying that you need to buy this, it actually detaches out of the page, and you can actually hang these completed drawings in your home. So I'm so excited, and I've definitely put off doing this because, again, I told myself, you're probably not going to be that good at it, so why do it? Not a good attitude. Remember, we are not being perfectionists. We are having fun. We are promoting self-care, we are practicing self-care, and we're being creative. So again, this book is really cool because it actually has like step-by-step instructions on how to get the effects of the animals, and then it also lays out all the supplies you need and then how to mix all of the colors. So very, very helpful. Really, really good for beginner watercolor. So let's do it. Let's do the starfish. Okay. Can I do it? Can she do it? We'll find out. Okay. So here we are. A very sophisticated setup. Very sophisticated. But as you can see, like I said, I wanted to do the starfish. And I've got some brushes here. I've got my watercolor here. I've got some water. I've got a little pad, a piece of paper towel to wipe in between so I'm not mixing too much. I remember taking a watercoloring class a long time ago, and the teacher was pretty clear on two things. Number one, you don't need as much water as you think when dipping into the pigment or the paint. And number two, it's really important to clean the brush in between. But again, we're not trying to be perfectionists. We're just trying to have some good self-care time. So here we go. So it says using clean water and the larger brush right here, fill the entire starfish so that the paper is damp. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so I'm just trying to create a wet surface so that the pigment can grab onto the water. Filling that in. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I feel like, yeah, that was the thing that I said earlier. You don't want a sopping wet page, but you definitely want some moisture. So damp is the perfect texture to describe what you really want. Texture? Damp texture? Sure, let's go with it. Okay, so the next step in this book says start dropping in both cadmium, excuse me. So this one right here, this guy, not sure if you can see that. It's kind of like a burnt umber if you have it. And permanent rose to create a pretty combination of colors. So I guess I'm just supposed to start dropping it anywhere. Okay, I think I can do that. Okay, so I'm supposed to kind of dab in. What I'm going to do is I'll show you my little palette here. I've just got this cool little palette, and I think I'm going to do, this looks like to be the best color match to what they want, this one right here. Yeah. I'm not sure that I really have a burnt or a permanent rose color. I think I'm just going to, maybe what I'll do is I'll get creative and I'll just do like this color with some white. Sure. Because that will kind of brighten it and lighten it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, I am being creative. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist, right? So I'm just going to start dropping in both the cadmium orange. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Wow. Okay. I'm just dropping this in, guys. Okay, pretty much it seems like right here we're just trying to create sort of like the overall tone or hue of this. Let's grab some of this. This is fun, you guys. I hope that you're doing this at home with me because I am having a blast. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, and it's okay if you go out of your edges. Oh, this is actually really fun. Why did I do this earlier? So I'm just, I guess, oh, they want me to just, okay. I'm just kind of combining colors. Okay. Get a little more white in there because this is sort of looking a little more orange and less pink, but that's okay. We'll go with it. Yeah, when I took that watercoloring class so many years ago, the watercolorist told me that a lot of people think that, yeah, like that while adding pigment or paint or watercolors, paint is really important. A lot of people get kind of hung up on like how much they have, but it's really more about like how much water you have on the page and the way that you're moving it. So it's really, while like I said, pigment is important, it's more about how you're depositing it on the page. So not like stopping wet brushes, making sure your paper isn't too wet. And I think there's like sort of like a playfulness to watercolor. If anybody is a watercolor expert out there, I totally apologize if I'm butchering this. But again, I'm just trying to be creative for my own mental health. So again, we're not looking to make this perfect. We're making this to decompress, to explore, to learn more about what excites us when making art. And what excites me most, I guess, is just, like I was saying before, like how much the paint kind of changes when you take away the water. Like when you wipe your brush, it's pretty interesting, like how much little water you really need in watercolor. So I'm going to go in with a little more white. I'm just going to drop in, I don't really know if that's doing anything. That's okay. Oh, it looks like I added too much water. So I'm going to try to like drop these on the edges drop this color where I need a little more pigment on the edges. Oh, you guys, I'm having so much fun. It's like the best when you can work and kind of do fun things. I don't know about you, but I feel really lucky right now. And I should mention also that we have a lovely watercolorist on our staff at Victory Branch named Lindsay. She actually is heading up the program Preschool Art right now on our YouTube channel. If you are at the Ada Community Library's YouTube channel, there's a whole separate playlist for preschool art. And in the fall, we're going to be rotating that program. So we have Lindsay, who's amazing, and we're going to have even more amazing teacher artists who are going to be doing stuff like this for your little ones at home. So just know, Lindsay, if you're watching, please don't judge me because you are so talented. Okay. Oh, not that you're watching. It's all good. Okay. I'm trying to be like Bob Ross here. Oh, just a little happy stroke. Hey, not bad. I like it. Another idea I had for trying to kind of get back into watercolor and to painting is to do a Bob Ross tutorial. If anybody who is watching would be interested in that, please leave me a comment below or shoot me an email, which I mentioned my email before, but it's also in the description. Let me know because I'm like super, super duper intimidated of doing that, but also like how much fun would that be? So let me know. We can try to do one together. So yeah, anyway, I digress. Okay, I like this. I'm just gonna slightly dip my brush in some water, and I'm just gonna kind of diffuse the edges, lightly move back and forth. And I kind of went outside the lines, but again, that's okay. I kind of like that it's a little messy. I was thinking I would actually make a bunch of these and mail them to some of my friends around the country, or even put some up in my bathroom. Kind of hang them around the house. I kind of love that. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe my brush. The next thing it says is to let your starfish dry completely. Now, I'm really impatient, but that's another tip for any beginner watercolorist is that a lot of this is layer building, and your layers need to be kind of set in place in order to build another one on top of it. So don't do what I'm about to do, which is I'm going to keep going, but yeah, just something to note that watercolor is so interesting in that it's a lot about movement and then it's a lot about layers too, at least in my opinion. Again, I'm not an expert. So the next step says use Indian red, which I don't know if you can see this, but it's sort of like a mixture between like a red and a brown, almost like a clay red. And I'm going to use my smaller brush here. I got this little like, almost like a water pen that came with my watercolor set. So start painting on the pattern using the tip of my brush, which is this is perfect because look at that tip. It's easiest to start with the larger shapes and then finish with the smaller dots. So I think the instructions are referring to, and you probably can't see this, maybe I'll hold this up so you can kind of see, oh gosh, look at that there's some like pebbles and then there are flicks or little dots. And that's gonna give us like the cool speckled look. Yeah. So they suggest, again, to start with the larger shapes and then finish with the smaller dots. So I'm going to wet this and then dab it on my paper towel. And I do actually have a pretty awesome match for this. Oh, what do you know? Let me pop it out of here to show you. I've massacred my white. Don't worry, you can always like take a paper towel and just wipe off the excess. I think I'm gonna go in with this one right here, where my thumb is. Cool. All right, so again, you don't need a ton of water. I'm doing this again, but because it's just like a habit to like I think that was really drilled into me too. It was like, always wet your brush, wipe off the excess, dip lightly into the paint. So I've got some right here. I'm just gonna start, there's like these triangles. I'm not really sure if that's picking up. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that a little bit. Okay, let's keep going here, shall we? I'm gonna grab a darker one and kind of mix it with the burnt red. Yeah, I wonder why they want you to do the big ones first. Maybe because like you can kind of decide what kind of look you want once you've filled in all of the big guys. Maybe that's it. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is fun. I highly recommend this, you guys, if you're just like looking to do something just to kind of step away from screens, step away from your phone, turn off the news. You just kind of want to zone out. This would be great to even do outside when it's a cool day. By the time you're watching this, we'll kind of be through our little mini heat wave in Boise, but is it really a heat wave or just a normal Boise summer? I think so. I think it's just a normal Boise summer. 106, you know? That's so cool. I love it. Okay, so dip my brush, wipe off the excess, and I think it did work to add like a little bit of a deeper, sort of like an aubergine color, if you will, to the red that I have, because I just feel like the red that I have is not, so I think what happened is, I guess I had a more citrusy orange than like this sort of like earth tone orange. So I think the right shade match for these like accent marks actually is more and similar in tone to what this is, so it wasn't really showing up. Anyway, I digress. So I'm gonna take a few minutes to finish this, but you get the idea, just kind of speckling in where you want to go. I'll be right back to show you the finished product. You guys. Wow. That was so much fun. Here's the finished product. I actually really like it. This was such a great way to dip my toe back into watercoloring, have the techniques kind of laid out for me, and then also have some of the things that I knew about watercoloring come back to the forefront of my mind. Like, oh yeah, okay, you don't want too much water on the page. It's going to completely soak everything up. It's going to make the pigment harder to move. You don't need too much pigment. You don't need too much water. It's really important to let things dry, so don't do what I did here. But I mean, man, look at that. I'm really proud of that. Yeah, so again, the thing with watercolor is a light hand and just have fun. The great thing about, again, watercolor is that everything's very diffused. It can be sheared out, it can be built up, and when it dries, the effect is just so lovely. Anyway, have you taken up any arts and crafts that you've maybe stopped for a long time and then got back into in order to kind of help de-stress or practice self-care? I'd love to hear in the comments below. And again, let me know if you'd like to see more things like this. The Bob Ross tutorial, I'm down if you are. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that little bell on our landing page so you can get notifications when we do upload new videos. And yeah, this was so much fun. I had a great time hanging out with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a very relaxing weekend. And I hope I see you back here next time for another Self Care Sunday. Have a great day. Bye.